and discuss how to get your teenager to talk to you. Going live, going live. Excited about going live. Here we go, here we go. I feel like I'm okay, going live. Day 18 of 30 going live, where I'm talking to you about how to get your teenager to talk to you, because that is the pain point that I hear from moms almost every day. My teen won't talk to me. I'm trying to talk to them about XYZ. I've got some life wisdom to impart on them. And guess what? Your teenager doesn't want to talk to you if they don't feel emotionally safe to talk with you. So in these 30 days, I'm sharing reasons why your teenager might not want to talk to you. And I'm inviting you to the workshop where I'm teaching you how to get them to talk to you, because just knowing why is only half the battle. You got to learn the how as well. So that is everything that I teach in the Trusted Method, is how to get your teenager to talk to you. You're learning in this 30 days why they're not talking to you. And then I'm inviting you to come to the workshop to understand how, the basic foundations of how, at the workshop that I teach, which I'm teaching in a week from today, next Monday, May 4th, teaching a workshop. I've got it linked to my bio. You can also go lab.kristenduke.com. It's like a chemistry lab, like we're in the lab working together. And okay, I'm going to skip back just a little bit. So we're going to talk today about a lose-lose trap that you are likely stuck in. So here's where, let's see, I got my notes here. Have you ever felt that no matter what you choose, how you go about it with your teenager, you're failing? Have you ever felt that? I hear this from a lot of moms. I hear things like, I feel like I'm already too late. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like there's no way out of this. I feel like it's all my fault. I don't know what to do. And while on the one hand, I think it's great that moms recognize that it's not just their teenager, because what I'm trying to teach you over and over, and hopefully you've got this message if you've watched any of these other lives, your teenager's not the problem. You're not the problem. It's the pattern that you are stuck in that is the problem. This is my expertise. This is my specialty, is helping you break the pattern that is stuck between you and your teenager and rebuild a new pattern. Doesn't that sound great? Who's up for that? That's what I start to teach you at the workshop. And then after the workshop, I say, all right, if you're feeling this, come for more. I got so much more over here in the land of trust, in the land of becoming trusted. Come immerse in the language of the trusted language. I've got so much more for you. So let's talk about why you feel like you're failing and how it's a lose-lose trap. Because when you feel like you're failing, you start to act like you're failing. And then it's a little bit of the victim mentality, which we talked about a couple of days ago. And your teenager is not seeing a confident mom, which it's hard to be confident. I get it. When you feel like you're failing, it's a tricky space to step into. And that's why I'm here to help you build that confidence up. A lot of moms think the problem is making a decision about their teenager, when the real problem is, what does this decision mean about me? A lot of moms feel like if their teenagers are doing XYZ, making not so great choices, they feel like they've done something wrong. That's a tricky place to be. My goal is to teach you to be a strong, confident mom. We talk about being a lighthouse mom in the Trusted program. And when you're a lighthouse mom, what does a lighthouse do? They're calm. They stand steady. They stand tall. No matter what the waves are doing, no matter what no matter what the boat is doing, thrashing about in the waves. Teenagers driving the boat. Waves are life circumstances and decisions and challenges. Teenagers driving their boat. You're standing tall like a lighthouse. You're not jumping into the boat, taking over their ship. You're standing tall like a lighthouse. My goal is to teach you to become trusted no matter what choices your kids make. They're going to make the choices they make, somewhat in part by listening to your life's wisdom, and somewhat based off of their circumstances. Years ago, when I decided I'm going to start talking about teenagers, I'm going to start helping moms with teenagers, because I didn't have a great relationship with my mom and I want to have a better relationship with my teenagers. I share a lot of stories about where I messed up in the Trusted Method that I teach. And then I share about how you can learn from my mess ups, and we all learn and grow together. But when I first started teaching this, 7-ish years ago, I thought to myself, well, I don't know that my kids are going to turn out this perfect example of what a teenager is supposed to look like. And I had this light bulb moment that told me it doesn't matter if you got a kid going to jail. It doesn't matter if you have a teen pregnancy. No one's judging the choices they make. I'm judging the relationship I have with my teenager no matter what life's choices they make. So thinking about this lose-lose situation, here's an example. Let's just say you have a child that plays soccer. They've played for years, you've cheered them on, maybe you've invested a decent amount of money in their growth in club soccer, elite soccer, whatever it is. And they come to you and they say, I don't want to play soccer anymore. And you're like, ah, like that's your identity, right? Sometimes that's your family identity is cheering them on and you're friends with the other soccer moms and you come together and you put your folding chairs on the bleachers and you wrap together. And when it's cold outside with these other moms and you're cheering your team on, that's become your identity. That's one element of moms not wanting their teenager to quit. The other element is, well, I don't want to raise a quitter, right? If I make them stick it out, I'm too controlling. But if I let them quit, I'm too lenient or I'm passive or letting them get away with blah, 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 blah. So moms sit in this lose-lose place over and over and over because they're thinking that they have to do something to produce some results from their teenager. Either way, they feel like they lose, right? In the soccer situation, if I make them do it, I'm too controlling. If I let them quit, I'm too lenient. Underneath that isn't confusion. It's this belief of feeling like I am failing as a mom. Ah, what a terrible place to be. What a terrible place to feel like you're feeling as losing as a mom. So this lose-lose trap, it's like being in a game where both doors say failure. All right, choose which door. This one, this failure door or this failure door. Which one do you want to go through? If that's the place you're living from, every decision feels heavy. Every decision feels loaded. And you're constantly second guessing yourself. Of course, you care about your teenager. I just want him to be happy. That's what I hear all the time. I just want him to be happy. Guess what? They're not going to be happy all the time. Can you sit with that discomfort of them not being happy all the time? Can you sit with the discomfort of them making not so great choices and feeling like it doesn't come back to you? I don't want you constantly second guessing yourself. This is when you've tied your teens' choices to your worth. And in the workshop, I've talked about, why can't I think of the word? It just slipped my mind. Enmeshment. When you're so enmeshed with your kids' decisions that it affects you and your happiness. And of course, if they're making not so great decisions, like it doesn't feel great, but when you're enmeshed, it means you're making it mean something about you and your mothering and your failure. And the only thing I want you to really focus on is becoming trusted. This is exactly what I teach. So that when your teenager makes choices, if we're coming back to soccer, I don't think it's up to mom to make that decision. I think it's up to mom to counsel with their kids. Like, let's talk about this together. Let's brainstorm. Let's talk about what it looks like if you do stop soccer. Let's talk about what it looks like if you don't stop soccer. And then they get to make the decision, not you. Why would you make that decision? I get it. Your identity's tied to it, or you've invested a lot. You got to know when you're starting out any of these activities that at some point they might not want to participate, and talk about the why. And a lot of parents think, oh, they're just lazy. They just want to sit on their phone. Really, if they've loved soccer for 10 years, do you think that they're going to want to stop soccer just because they're lazy? Sometimes there are mental health challenges involved. Sometimes they're feeling comparison, and and if that's the case, you want to talk through what that looks like. Maybe they need some extra support in navigating why they want to stop. Maybe they need to talk to their coach. Maybe they need to talk to a counselor. So, but helping you talking through it helps them come to that conclusion, which builds their confidence and actually lessens their anxiety and lessens potential mental health challenges because they feel confident in their own decisions. You making the decision actually makes it worse for them long term with their confidence. You don't need to make these decisions. The goal is to be so trusted. Ooh, I need to sneeze. The goal is, excuse me, the goal is to be so trusted that they want to talk with you, that they want to counsel with you, that they want to hear your thoughts and what you have to say because they care, because you've built up this trust for so long that they want your support. You want them to want your support, but they don't need it. They want it, but they don't need it. That's the difference. That's what becoming trusted is all about. So what I want you to think about is, I got to get off because my daughter's about to call me. Your teen's choices are not a report card on your parenting. That's something you really need to think about. I said that a couple months ago and somebody was like, oh, they're not a report card. Interesting. I like that thought. There's no one right decision that determines if you're a good mom. When everything feels like failure, you stop leading and start parenting from fear. This is not the goal, to parent from fear. Cannot do it. I know there's a lot of scary things in this world. There's a lot of scary choices your teenager can make. But when you parent from fear, they feel it, they sense it, they are repelled by it, and they usually don't want to do what you want them to do. So the goal is to parent from trust, to hear them out, hear me out. Teens like to say that a lot. Have you ever heard they've done a hear me out cake? Think about doing a hear me out cake. Well, we're going to build a cake. I'm trying to think. I've seen my kids do it, and it's so funny. I've seen it online. Hear me out. It's usually about something crazy that they love and they're obsessed with. But maybe you could say, hey, have you ever heard of a hear me out cake? Let's make a hear me out cake. You talk, I talk, we talk together. This is what it is. You're hearing them out. They're hearing you out. That's the way to give advice. You don't need a perfect response. You need a grounded one. It's not the soccer decision affecting your relationship. It's the energy behind it. When your teen feels like your reactions are tied to whether you're a good mom, they feel pressure. Their goal is not to appease you to feel like a good mom. That causes pressure, causes distance, causes disinterest in wanting to talk to you and counsel with you about soccer and dating and phones and all of the other things. So instead of opening up, they're filtering through. They hide, they avoid, they protect you from their truth because they don't feel safe to feel fully honest. This is the goal in the trusted method, is for them to feel safe to talk to you, emotionally safe. Emotional safety is becoming trusted. You are trusted when they want to talk to you. If they're not talking to you, they don't want to have anything to do with listening to what you have to say, come on over to the Trusted Workshop, lab.kristaduke.com. It's a week from today. You're going to learn the foundations of becoming trusted, immersing in this trusted language. It is a new language. You're breaking old patterns and learning new patterns. You're not failing as a mom. You're making every moment mean something it was never meant to mean. This is a lose-lose trap. That's why I titled this Lose-Lose Trap. No more getting stuck in traps. This is exactly what I'm teaching, like I said, in the workshop, how to stop tying your worth to your teen's choices so you can show up calm, clear, and grounded, because that's what actually makes your teen feel safe enough to talk. You're not failing. You're carrying something that's carrying a meaning that's making you show up like you are. Okay. Day 18, wrapping this up. See you tomorrow. Check out all the other days if you have missed them. All right, I'm going to end this live and